Chapter 5, Mishnah 3. The Torah commands that if a husband dies without children and is survived by one or more brothers, his widow is forbidden to marry anyone except one of the brothers. This marriage is called yibum. The widow is called a yavama, and each of the brothers, particularly the one who intends to marry her, is called a yavam. If none of the brothers wants to marry her, a ceremony called chalitza is performed, which permits her to marry someone else. The Mishnah discusses the law where the deceased husband and his brothers are Kohanim, but the Yavama is the daughter of a non-Kohen. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. A Yavam who is a Kohen may not feed terumah to his Yavama before he marries her, Yibum. The Mishnah states what happens if her first husband died during the 12 months that she was given to prepare for their Nisuyin. For example, if she spent 6 of the 12 months before the husband and the other 6 months before the Yavam, i.e., her husband died 6 months after he asked her to prepare for the Nisuyin, and she spent the remaining 6 months waiting for Yibum, or even if she spent almost all the 12 months before the husband except for one day that she spent before the Yavam, i.e. her husband died on the day before the end of the 12 months, or she spent almost all the 12 months before the Yavam except for one day before the husband, i.e. her husband died the day after he asked to prepare for their Nisuyin, she may not eat at the Yavam's terumah. Even though 12 months have passed, she is not allowed to eat terumah until she actually marries the Yavam. The Mishnah goes back to the previous Mishnah's ruling that an ordinary bride, not a Yavama, may eat terumah as soon as the time of her wedding arrives. This was the first teaching, i.e., it was the sages of an earlier generation who permitted a woman to eat terumah when the time of her wedding arrives. However, a rabbinic court that came after them said, a woman may not eat terumah until she actually enters the chuppah.